Imagine a time thousands of years ago, when the desert sun burned golden over vast stretches of sand, and in the middle of that barren land stood a city unlike any other. This city was Babylon, a place of towering walls, bustling markets, majestic temples, and flowing rivers that turned the desert into a land of wealth. Babylon was not famous for its kings, nor only for its mighty walls. It was famous because it was the richest city of the ancient world. Its citizens were traders, builders, moneylenders, farmers, and dreamers, ordinary men and women who discovered extraordinary principles of wealth. Now, here is the truth. The gold that made Babylon rich did not appear by magic, nor was it a gift from the gods. It was the result of knowledge, simple, practical knowledge about how money works. Knowledge that was passed from generation to generation, not in textbooks, but in the form of stories and parables. George S. Clason, the author of this book, gathered these timeless parables and presented them to the modern world. And here lies the magic. Though these stories are set in ancient Babylon, their wisdom is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Whether you live in New York, London, Mumbai, Cairo, or Tokyo, these principles of money, saving, investing, and security are universal. The message is clear. Wealth is not about luck. Wealth is not about background. Wealth is about rules. Rules that anyone can learn and follow. So what will you find in this book? You will meet men like Bansir the chariot maker, who struggled with poverty despite his skills. You will hear the wisdom of Arkad, the richest man in Babylon, who built his fortune from nothing. You will learn about the 7 cures for a lean purse, practical steps to transform empty pockets into full ones. You will discover the 5 laws of gold, the eternal truths of how money grows and how it is lost. You will walk the streets of Babylon, enter its marketplaces, hear its merchants, and listen to its lenders. And with each story, you will realize something powerful. These lessons are not ancient. They are eternal. Why does this matter today? Because in our modern world, where people chase money endlessly, yet remain burdened by debt, stress, and financial struggle, the same Babylonian wisdom can set us free. It can teach us how to save, how to invest, how to guard our money, and most importantly, how to build lasting wealth. The foreword of this book is like a doorway. As you step through it, you are entering not just the city of Babylon, but also the world of timeless financial wisdom. This is not a dry lecture. This is a journey. A journey where stories will teach more than rules ever could. So as you listen, imagine yourself walking under the hot sun of Babylon, hearing the clinking of gold coins, smelling the spices in the market, and feeling the desire for wealth in your own heart. Because what you are about to learn is not just history. It is a guidebook to your future. Chapter 1. The Man Who Desired Gold. The hot Babylonian sun beat down upon the clay streets. The air was thick with dust, the cries of merchants, and the distant sound of donkeys carrying goods. In the middle of this ancient city sat a man named Bansir, a master chariot builder. His strong arms had shaped the finest chariots in Babylon, chariots that carried soldiers to war and merchants to markets. Yet on this particular day, Bansir sat upon the low wall of his house, his tools untouched, his face heavy with worry. His purse was flat, his cupboards were nearly empty. Despite his years of labor, he had no gold to show for it. Bansir sighed deeply. How is it that I work from sunrise to sunset, yet I remain poor? My hands build wealth for others, but for me, there is nothing. At that very moment, his childhood friend Kobi, the musician, walked by. Kobi carried his lyre, but like Bansir, he too had little to show for his art. He stopped when he saw his friend sitting idle. Bansir, said Kobi with surprise, why do you sit here? Your chariots are prized by noblemen. Should you not be busy at work? Bansir looked at his friend and replied with honesty, Kobi, I am tired of working without reward. What good is it to labor day and night if at the end of it my purse is still empty? I have no gold, no savings, and no joy. I feel like a donkey, pulling a heavy cart for others, yet with no feast waiting for myself at the end. Kobi sat beside him. His own eyes were troubled. You speak truth, my friend. My lyre brings me songs, but not silver. I too am weary of poverty. Look around us, Bansir. Others, no wiser than we, no more skilled than we, have grown rich. Why not us? The two friends sat in silence, their thoughts heavy. At last, Kobi whispered, Perhaps we have not learned the secret that the rich men know. Perhaps gold does not come by chance or hard work alone. Perhaps it follows laws we have never been taught. At that moment, Bansir's eyes brightened with a spark of hope. You are right, Kobi. And who better to teach us than Arkad, the richest man in all Babylon? Do you remember? He was once poor, just like us. Yet today, his house overflows with riches. His purse is never empty. If anyone knows the secret of gold, it must be him. Kobi's face lit up. Then let us go to Arkad. Let us ask him the path to wealth. Perhaps he will share his wisdom. And so, with renewed determination, the two friends rose from the wall and made their way through the streets of Babylon. Past the merchants calling out their wares, past the moneylenders with their scales, past the guards at the palace gates, until they came to the grand home of Arkad, the richest man in Babylon. Their hearts were filled with both fear and hope. Would Arkad reveal his secret? Would he laugh at their foolishness, or would he open to them the path that had made him so wealthy? With trembling hands, they knocked on the door, and here begins the turning point of their lives. For when Arkad welcomed them into his home, he did not mock their poverty, nor did he send them away. Instead, he smiled and said, Once I too desired gold as you do now. I was poor, just like you, but I learned the laws of wealth, and I obeyed them. If you truly desire to learn, I will share with you the secrets that made me the richest man in Babylon. Thus begins the next chapter, where Arkad reveals how he transformed from an ordinary scribe into the wealthiest man of his time. Chapter 2. The Richest Man in Babylon. The home of Arkad stood tall among the houses of Babylon. Its walls were decorated with fine carvings, and its doors were polished wood. Bansir and Kobi, still dressed in their simple clothes, felt small before its grandeur. But their desire for wisdom was greater than their fear. They were admitted, and soon they found themselves face to face with Arkad, the richest man in all of Babylon. He was not a young man anymore. His beard was long, his eyes calm, but his presence carried authority and warmth. Arkad looked at his old friends kindly. Welcome, Bansir, and you too, Kobi. What brings you to my house? Bansir spoke with honesty. We are weary of being poor, Arkad. Day after day we work, yet our purses remain empty. You were once like us, but now you are the wealthiest man in Babylon. Tell us, how did you gain such riches? What secret do you know that we do not? Arkad nodded slowly, as though he had been waiting for this question. Then he leaned forward and began to tell his story. Many years ago, Arkad began, I too was poor. I was a humble scribe, writing tablets for others. My earnings were small, and though I worked long hours, my purse was always thin. Like you, I desired gold. I longed to be wealthy, to eat well, to wear fine clothes, and to travel with ease. But no matter how hard I worked, my dreams seemed far away. Then one day, fortune brought me a chance. A wealthy moneylender named Algamish came to me. He needed a copy of an important contract written before sunrise. He promised me 2 pieces of silver if I finished the task on time. I worked through the night, and by morning the task was done. When Algamish returned and saw my work, he was pleased. I paid him respect and asked boldly, Tell me, Algamish, how may a man keep gold in his purse? For I desire to be rich. Algamish looked at me and laughed, but then he said words that changed my life forever. Arkad, if you would keep gold, you must learn one simple rule. A part of all you earn is yours to keep. I was puzzled. I told him, Do I not already keep what I earn? I spend it as I desire, on food, clothing, and pleasures. But Algamish shook his head. Foolish youth. You pay everyone but yourself. You pay the cloth maker, the sandal maker, the food seller. But what of you? Do you not deserve a portion of all you earn? From every 10 coins you place in your purse, keep 1 for yourself. Spend only the 9. Let this 1 coin be the start of your wealth. His words struck me deeply. From that day forward, I began to follow this law. At first it was hard. My family complained. My desires tempted me. But I was firm. I saved 1/10 of all I earned. And slowly, my purse grew heavier. Arkad paused, looking at his friends. That was the beginning. It was not luck. It was not magic. It was discipline. Once I learned to pay myself first, my journey to wealth began. Later, I learned how to invest, how to protect my gold, how to multiply it. But this first step is the foundation. For without saving, no man can be rich. Bansir and Kobi listened with wide eyes. The words felt simple, yet powerful. For the first time, they saw a path out of poverty. Arkad leaned back and smiled. This is only the beginning, my friends. If you truly desire to learn, I will teach you more. Come tomorrow, and I will reveal the 7 cures for a lean purse, 7 laws that can turn empty pockets into overflowing purses. And thus, the next chapter begins. The great lessons that Arkad shared with all of Babylon. The practical, timeless cures for poverty. Chapter 3. 7 Cures for a Lean Purse. The next day, Bansir and Kobi returned to Arkad's home. But this time, they were not alone. Many others from Babylon had gathered, merchants, farmers, craftsmen, all curious to hear the wisdom of the richest man in their city. Arkad stood before them like a teacher before his students. His voice was calm yet strong, carrying across the courtyard. You have come, he said, because your purses are lean. You wish for them to be fat with gold. Then listen well, for I will share with you 7 cures for a lean purse. These are not secrets, they are laws, and whoever follows them shall never know poverty again. First cure. Start thy purse to fattening. Arkad raised a single finger. From every 10 coins you earn, keep 1 for yourself. Pay yourself first. Do not spend it, no matter how small the amount may seem. Let your purse grow heavier each month. Wealth begins not with income, but with savings. For the man who cannot save will never grow rich. The crowd nodded. The lesson was simple, but powerful. Second cure, control thy expenditures. Many of you say, Arkad continued, that you cannot save because your expenses consume all. But I say, expenses always grow to match income unless controlled. Do not confuse desires with necessities. Record your spending, cut the waste, and live below your means. The purse that spends all will always be empty. Third cure, make thy gold multiply. Arkad smiled. The coin that rests in your purse earns nothing, but the coin that is invested works like a slave. It multiplies and brings you more. Invest wisely so your savings create children, and those children produce more children. This is the power of compounding wealth. He told of how his first saved coins bought him a small loan, which returned profit, which he reinvested again and again. Fourth cure, guard thy treasures from loss. Gold is precious, said Arkad sternly. Be cautious where you place it. Do not be lured by men who promise impossible returns. Consult the wise before you invest. Better a small safe return than to gamble and lose all. For a fool and his gold are quickly parted. The crowd murmured. They had all known men ruined by reckless ventures. Fifth cure, make thy dwelling a profitable investment. Every man should own the roof that shelters him. Pay not forever to another. Build or buy your own home, and let it become a foundation for your future wealth. A home gives security, pride, and a place to build savings. Sixth cure, ensure a future income. Arkad's tone softened. Think not only of today, but of tomorrow. Prepare for old age when strength fades. Provide for your family so they may not suffer when you are gone. Invest in ways that will bring you income in the future, even when your hands can no longer labor. Seventh cure: increase thy ability to earn. Finally, Arkad raised both hands. The greatest wealth is not the gold in your purse, but the skill in your hands and the wisdom in your mind. Work hard to improve your craft. Study, learn, increase your ability to earn, and gold will follow you. He paused and looked at the crowd. These are the 7 cures. Follow them faithfully, and your purse will never be lean again. The people of Babylon left that day filled with hope. The path to riches was no longer a mystery. It was clear, step by step, like a road through the desert. Bansir and Kobi felt the fire of determination rise within them. They knew their lives were about to change forever. But Arkad was not finished. As the crowd began to disperse, he raised his hand once more. You have heard the cures for a lean purse, but there is more. Many of you say wealth comes by luck. Tomorrow, I will show you the truth. I will reveal how to meet the goddess of good luck. And so, the next lesson awaited. Chapter 4: Meet the Goddess of Good Luck. Days later, the people of Babylon once again gathered in the great courtyard, eager to hear more from Arkad. They had listened to the 7 cures for a lean purse, but questions still stirred in their minds. One man stood and spoke. Arkad, many men say that wealth is not only the result of saving and investing. They say it is a matter of luck. Some are born lucky, while others are not. What of this? Does not the goddess of good luck favor some men more than others? The crowd murmured in agreement. Surely, they thought, luck must play a part. After all, had not some men found treasures by chance or inherited gold without effort? Arkad raised his hand and spoke calmly. Men of Babylon, listen well. If luck were the only path to wealth, then we would not be here today. For who can command luck? But I tell you this, the goddess of good luck visits the man who takes action, not the one who sits idle and dreams. The people leaned closer as Arkad continued his teaching. Opportunities and preparation. Have you not seen how opportunities come often, yet few seize them? A man with no gold in his purse cannot take advantage of a chance when it appears. But the man who saves even a small portion and is prepared can act when luck presents itself. The gambler who hopes to win at the dice does not seek wisdom, only chance, and soon loses all. But the farmer who plants his seeds each season does not call it luck when the harvest comes. He calls it reward for his preparation. So too is wealth. Luck comes only to those who are ready. The story of the farmer's opportunity. Arkad told them a story. There was once a farmer who longed to buy land. One day, a neighbor decided to sell his fields for a low price, but the farmer had saved no gold. He could not act. The chance passed, and another man became rich from the land. The farmer cursed his bad luck. But was it luck that failed him? No, it was his failure to prepare. For if he had saved even a little each month, he would have seized the opportunity when it came. The crowd nodded. Many remembered times when chances had passed them by, simply because their purses were empty. Arkad's lesson on luck. Men of Babylon, Arkad said firmly, do not sit idle, hoping that luck will favor you. Do not waste your gold on gambling, wishing for fortune. Instead, prepare, save, invest, learn. Then, when opportunity comes, you will call it good luck, but in truth, it is your preparation meeting the chance. He paused and smiled. The goddess of good luck is not fickle. She favors those who take action. The crowd was silent, but their eyes shone with understanding. Some smiled, realizing that what they had once called bad luck was simply their own lack of preparation. Bansir turned to Kobi and whispered, So luck is not magic. It is readiness. If we save and act wisely, opportunities will not slip past us again. Arkad, seeing their eagerness, lifted his hand once more. Now that you understand the nature of luck, I will share with you the eternal truths of money itself, truths that never fail, no matter the man, the land, or the time. These are the 5 laws of gold. And with that, the people of Babylon prepared to hear the next great lesson. Chapter 5. The 5 Laws of Gold. One evening, Bansir and Kobi returned to Arkad's home, eager to learn more. Arkad welcomed them with a warm smile. "You have learned to save, to control your spending, and to invest wisely," he said. "But there is more. Wealth is not just earned, it is protected and multiplied. And to do this, you must understand the 5 laws of gold. These laws are eternal. They govern gold as surely as gravity governs the stars. Learn them, and your purse will grow. Ignore them, and your wealth will vanish." The friends leaned closer. Arkad began. First law: gold comes easily to those who save. Gold comes to those who pay themselves first. When a man saves a portion of all he earns, no matter how small, he starts a cycle of growth. Even a single coin, if wisely saved, attracts more coins. But if you spend it all, your hands will always be empty, and no one can give you gold against your own neglect. Second law: gold works for the wise owner. Gold seeks to multiply, Arkad continued. If you lend it to skilled, honest men, or invest in profitable ventures, it will bring returns. But this requires judgment. Gold obeys the commands of the wise, yet flees from the foolish who act without understanding. He told them a story of a merchant who lent gold to a diligent farmer. The farmer used it to buy grain, sold it for profit, and repaid the loan with interest. The same gold, carefully placed, had grown 3-fold. Third law: gold clings to the cautious owner. Gold favors caution. A man who protects his wealth from risk keeps it growing. Reckless speculation destroys fortunes overnight. Wealth does not come from chasing impossible dreams. It comes from steady, careful work and patience. Arkad described a man who invested in a mysterious scheme, hoping for instant riches. The investment failed, and the man lost everything. Gold, he said, obeys the careful, not the impulsive. Fourth law: gold slips from those who invest without knowledge. Gold flees the man who follows the advice of strangers or invests in ventures he does not understand. Never lend to a dreamer who cannot pay. Never buy from a seller who promises too much. Knowledge and understanding are shields that protect your treasure. He reminded them, wisdom is as valuable as the gold itself. Without it, money disappears as quickly as it came. Fifth law: gold flees from those who force it into impossible gains. Gold does not respond to greed or impatience. Those who try to multiply it overnight through schemes or luck lose it instead. Only steady, measured effort, guided by knowledge and discipline, produces lasting wealth. Remember this: gold is patient, but it will not wait for fools. Arkad paused and looked at the crowd. These laws are simple, yet they are powerful. Follow them, and your gold will grow, protecting you from poverty and misfortune. Ignore them, and your riches will vanish, no matter how much you earn. Bansir and Kobi felt a deep respect for Arkad's wisdom. They had learned that wealth was not random. It was a science, a set of rules that anyone could follow. As the sun set over Babylon, Arkad smiled knowingly. "Tomorrow," he said, "I will tell you the story of the gold lender of Babylon, where you will see how wisdom and caution can protect wealth even in the hands of the less fortunate. For learning to earn is one thing, but learning to guard your gold is the mark of true prosperity." And so, the next lesson awaited, guiding the friends further along the path to riches. Chapter 6. The Gold Lender of Babylon. In the heart of Babylon, there lived a man named Mathon, known throughout the city as the wisest and most trusted gold lender. His walls were lined with shelves of coins, each carefully counted and recorded. But Mathon's greatest wealth was not the gold he held. It was the knowledge of how to lend it wisely. One morning, Roden the spearmaker came to Mathon's door. Roden had recently received a large reward from the king for his craftsmanship. Excited but uncertain, he asked Mathon how to use it wisely. "I have gold," Roden said, holding a small bag of coins. "But I do not know how to make it grow." Should I invest in land, lend it to a friend, or risk it in trade? Mathan smiled kindly. Gold is a servant, Rodan. Treat it well, and it will serve you. Treat it foolishly, and it will flee. Let me teach you a lesson many men of Babylon forget. Lesson 1. Know the borrower. Mathan told the story of a merchant who had lent gold to a man with charm, but no honesty. The man vanished, and the gold was lost forever. Gold, Mathan explained, favors those who lend it to men of integrity and proven skill. Do not be swayed by words alone. Observe deeds, reputation, and ability to repay. Rodan nodded, realizing he had been tempted to lend to acquaintances without proper judgment. Lesson 2. Secure your gold. Gold should never be given without security. Mathan continued. Even to a friend, there must be a promise, an agreement, or a bond. This protects you from loss and ensures the coin returns, ready to work again. A gold coin resting in your purse earns nothing. A coin wisely lent or invested multiplies, but only if it is protected. Mathan shared how he had saved many men from ruin simply by teaching them caution. He explained that the wise lender must balance generosity with prudence. Lesson 3. Patience and timing. Never demand your gold too quickly, Mathan said. The borrower must be allowed time to use it productively, but never wait too long either. Watch your investments. Observe their progress. Wealth grows in the hands of the patient and careful. Rodan began to understand. Lending was not about trust alone, nor about greed. It was a careful dance between wisdom and patience. Lesson 4. Diversify your loans. Mathan advised that gold should not be tied to a single venture or person. Place your coins in many hands, small and large. Some will return more than expected, some may fail. But the careful lender protects his purse through diversity. Rodan realized this applied not only to lending, but to all his future investments. Lesson 5. Wisdom protects wealth. Finally, Mathan spoke the words that would remain with Rodan forever. Gold seeks the wise, but flees the foolish. It rewards prudence, patience, and knowledge. Treat your coins as students, teaching them to work, multiply, and return. Neglect these lessons, and even great rewards will vanish. Rodan left Mathan's home with a new understanding. His gold was no longer just a reward. It was a tool, a servant, a seed that could grow if handled with care. As he walked through the streets of Babylon, Rodan thought of Akkad, of the 7 cures, and of the 5 laws of gold. Each lesson was a step toward mastery of wealth. But Babylon had one more secret to teach. The city itself, its walls, and its people held lessons in security and protection. And so the next chapter begins, The Walls of Babylon, where wisdom and caution continue to shape the journey to lasting prosperity. Chapter 7. The Walls of Babylon. The city of Babylon was legendary, not only for its wealth and trade, but for its mighty walls, stretching high above the desert. No enemy could breach them easily. No invader could take the city by surprise. These walls were more than stone and mortar. They were protection, security, and a symbol of foresight. One evening, Akkad took Bansir and Kobi to the city gates. "Look at these walls," he said, "and learn, for they are more than a defense against swords. They are a lesson in guarding wealth. Gold, like a city, must be protected. Without protection, it can vanish in a moment." Lesson 1. Protection against loss. Akkad told the story of a merchant who, despite earning gold through hard work, kept it in a poorly guarded chest at home. One night, thieves entered, and all his savings were gone. "Gold," Akkad explained, "is not safe when left unprotected. Guard it carefully. Place it where it can grow, not where it can be stolen." Lesson 2. Guard against the unexpected. Life is unpredictable, Akkad continued. Just as a city faces invaders, fires, or floods, so too do your savings face risks, poor investments, bad debts, or sudden misfortune. Protect your gold with wisdom, patience, and caution. Insurance, secure investments, and careful judgment are your walls against disaster. He described merchants who diversified their earnings, kept some in storage, some in trade, and some lent wisely. Their wealth survived times of famine and war. Those who ignored protection often lost everything overnight. Lesson 3. The value of planning ahead. Babylon was rich not because it was lucky, Arkad said, pointing to the city's gates. It was rich because its leaders planned for danger. Wealth, like the city, must be defended through foresight. Do not wait until misfortune strikes. Build your financial walls today. Bansir and Kobi listened, imagining their empty purses as unguarded walls, vulnerable to storms of debt and misfortune. They understood that earning and saving were not enough. Wealth must be shielded as carefully as the walls of Babylon. Lesson 4. Strength in numbers. Arkad smiled. Notice how the walls are thickest where the city is most vulnerable. Strengthen your wealth where it is weakest. Do not rely on a single source of income or a single investment. Spread your gold wisely. Diversification is the financial wall that protects your future. The friends began to see a pattern. Babylon's wealth was a mirror of its citizens' habits. Discipline, planning, and protection made gold stay. Recklessness made it flee. Lesson 5. Confidence comes from security. Finally, Arkad spoke softly. A man whose purse is protected can sleep peacefully. He is free to think, to act, to grow. But the man who ignores protection lives in fear. The walls of Babylon were not built for show. They were built for peace of mind. So too must you protect your gold, for security brings freedom. As the sun set behind the towering walls, Bansir and Kobi felt a new understanding. Wealth was not just earning or saving. It was defense, planning, and patience. But there was another lesson waiting, one that showed the consequences of carelessness and the rewards of discipline. The next chapter begins. The Camel Trader of Babylon, where the dangers of debt and poor choices are revealed, and the path to freedom through discipline becomes even clearer. Chapter 8. The Camel Trader of Babylon. In the bustling markets of Babylon, among the cries of merchants and the dust of camel hooves, there lived a man named Dabasir, a camel trader. His trade was respectable, his camels strong, and yet his life was weighed down by an invisible burden: debt. Dabasir had borrowed coins to pay for his camels, to feed his family, and to live a life that seemed beyond his income. At first, the debts were small, easy to manage, but over time, they multiplied. Interest piled upon interest. Bills went unpaid. And soon, Dabasir found himself enslaved by his own borrowing, unable to see a way out. One day, he was summoned before the moneylender of Babylon, the same Mathon who had taught Rodan. His heart pounded. He feared shame and punishment. But Mathon looked at him, not with anger, but with calm wisdom. Lesson 1. Acknowledge your problem. Dabasir, Mathon said, you must first face the truth. You are a slave to your debts. Denial will not free you. Only by admitting your errors can you begin to correct them. Dabasir bowed his head. I owe more than I can pay. My income is small, my debts many. I see no escape. Then listen, said Mathon. The first step to freedom is acknowledging your chains. Lesson 2. Create a plan to repay. Mathon instructed Dabasir to list all his debts, every coin owed, and to calculate a fixed portion of his income he could devote to repayment. Do not despair, said Mathon. Even small payments, made consistently, will free you from your burden. Discipline is stronger than desperation. Dabasir began to repay his creditors 1 coin at a time, applying the same wisdom Arkad had taught about saving and investing. Slowly, the weight of debt began to lift. Lesson 3. Control expenses. Your desires have enslaved you, Mathon continued. You spent on luxuries, on appearances, on the fleeting pleasures of the moment. Now you must live below your means. Let prudence guide your spending. Every coin saved is another link broken in the chain of debt. Dabasir made sacrifices. He sold unnecessary possessions, worked longer hours, and resisted temptation. Each coin saved strengthened his freedom. Lesson 4. Seek advice and wisdom. No man escapes alone, Mathan said. Seek guidance from those who have mastered wealth. Learn from those who have walked this path. Knowledge and discipline will rescue you faster than mere labor alone. Dabasir applied this advice, learning from Arkad and Mathon, slowly turning his life around. Lesson 5. Earn and save for the future. Finally, Mathan reminded him, once you are free from debt, begin saving. Pay yourself first. Do not repeat past mistakes. Wealth is not a reward, it is a habit. Earn diligently. Save consistently. Guard your gold. Let freedom become your permanent companion. Over the years, Dabasir followed this path. His camels thrived, his debts vanished, and he became a man respected not only for his trade, but for his wisdom. He had learned the most painful yet valuable lesson of Babylon. Debt enslaves, discipline liberates. As Dabasir walked through the streets of Babylon, he marveled at how small, steady steps, discipline, planning, and saving could turn despair into freedom. Yet Babylon still held more secrets of wealth and wisdom, waiting to be discovered in ancient tablets, guarded by time itself. The next chapter begins, the clay tablets from Babylon, where lessons recorded in stone reveal insights that survive centuries, connecting the past to the lives of all who seek prosperity. Chapter 9. The Clay Tablets from Babylon. Long ago, the scribes of Babylon recorded the wisdom of the city on clay tablets. These tablets survived floods, wars, and centuries of dust, holding the secrets of wealth, success, and human behavior for all who were willing to learn. Bansir and Kobi, eager to continue their lessons, visited an ancient library where Arkad showed them these tablets. He held one carefully, the soft clay etched with neat cuneiform symbols. "Look at this," Arkad said. "These tablets are more than writing. They are a treasury of knowledge, recording what generations of Babylonians discovered about gold, labor, and life itself. If you learn from them, you inherit the wisdom of centuries." Lesson 1. Knowledge is wealth. Arkad explained that these tablets contained rules that had guided countless prosperous citizens. The first lesson was simple but profound. Knowledge is as valuable as gold itself. A man with no gold but with understanding can create wealth. A man with gold but without wisdom loses it quickly. The tablets described how merchants, builders, and traders applied rules consistently to grow their fortunes. Each tablet told a story, illustrating practical laws rather than abstract ideas. Lesson 2. Record keeping is essential. Notice, Arkad pointed out, every transaction, every debt, every payment is recorded here. Babylonian scribes understood that what is not written is forgotten. Keep accounts of your income, expenses, loans, and savings. This is the foundation of financial discipline. He showed examples of how small miscalculations or forgotten debts led to ruin, while careful record-keeping allowed families and merchants to prosper across generations. Lesson 3. Follow proven rules. The tablets reveal one universal truth. Follow proven principles and wealth grows. Ignore them and loss follows. There is no magic, only laws. Pay yourself first. Control expenses. Invest wisely. Guard your gold. Increase your skills. These rules guided Babylon for centuries, and they still work today. Bansir and Kobi realized that these lessons were not just stories. They were tested strategies, built on experience and observation. Lesson 4. Learning from the past. By studying these records, Arkad said, you avoid mistakes that others made before you. History is a teacher if you listen. The tablets are reminders that the path to wealth is long but achievable through discipline and consistency. The friends spent hours reading the tablets, amazed at how practical the advice was. Every story, every rule, every warning connected perfectly with the 7 cures, the 5 laws of gold, and the lessons of Mathon and Dabasir. Lesson 5. Apply, do not just read. Finally, Arkad said, these tablets do not serve those who merely read them. Knowledge must be applied. Let your gold work for you, let your skills grow, and let your discipline guide every coin. The past is your mentor. The present is your opportunity. Bansir and Kobi left the library inspired, understanding that the wisdom of Babylon was a map, showing the way from poverty to prosperity, step by step. As they walked through the bustling streets, Arkad whispered, and now we come to a story of fortune that seems like luck, but is not. Next, you will meet the luckiest man in Babylon, a man who understood how to attract opportunity and make it his own through preparation and action. Chapter 10. The Luckiest Man in Babylon. In the heart of Babylon, among merchants, traders, and craftsmen, there lived a man named Sharu Nada, known by many as the luckiest man in the city. He seemed to have fortune follow him everywhere. Gold, opportunity, and success always found their way into his hands. But as Arkad would explain, Sharu Nada's luck was not mere chance. It was the result of preparation, wisdom, and action. One day, a young merchant approached Arkad, astonished. How is it that Sharu Nada always prospers, while others, equally skilled, struggle? Is it magic? Arkad smiled. Magic has nothing to do with it. What people call luck is usually opportunity meeting prepared minds. Let me tell you his story. Lesson 1. Recognize opportunity. Sharu Nada began as a humble trader, no richer than any other merchant in Babylon. But he had a keen eye for opportunity. When a caravan of rare spices arrived unexpectedly, others saw it as ordinary. Sharu Nada saw potential. He purchased a small portion and sold it quickly for profit. This pattern repeated. He noticed opportunities before others and acted decisively. Arkad explained, the first step to luck is vigilance. Wealth favors those who see possibilities where others see nothing. Lesson 2. Take action quickly. Luck, Arkad continued, requires swift action. Many men see opportunity but hesitate. Fear and indecision destroy potential. Sharu Nada was bold but careful. He did not act blindly, but when he saw a chance, he moved decisively. Fortune favors those who act. The young merchant nodded, understanding that waiting for perfect conditions often meant missing the moment. Lesson 3. Learn and improve continuously. Sharu Nada invested not only in goods, but in himself. He learned from mistakes, studied markets, and honed his skills. Arkad emphasized, knowledge increases luck. The man who improves himself attracts opportunity like iron draws a magnet. Luck is not passive, it is earned through preparation. Lesson 4. Preserve and multiply. Arkad told how Sharu Nada never squandered gains. Each profit was carefully reinvested. Many men earn and spend, leaving nothing for tomorrow. Sharu Nada made his gold work for him. Every coin saved, every investment wisely made, increased his fortune. The friends realized that luck was not random. It was the combination of wisdom, diligence, and discipline applied consistently. Lesson 5. Share and build reputation. Finally, Arkad explained that Sharu Nada's reputation helped him attract more wealth. By treating partners fairly, honoring debts, and helping others when possible, he created goodwill. Opportunity often arrives through people, Arkad said. The more trustworthy and respected you are, the more doors open. This is a kind of luck too. Sharu Nada's story left Bansir, Kobi, and the young merchant inspired. They understood that luck is not random chance. It is preparedness, action, and character combined. As the sun set over Babylon, Arkad whispered, "And now, my friends, we return to the past. For all these lessons were built upon the history of our great city. The walls, the markets, the traders, they are teachers. Next, we shall explore an historical sketch of Babylon, revealing how the wisdom of our ancestors shaped this prosperous land." Chapter 11. An historical sketch of Babylon. Before Babylon became a city of immense wealth and power, it was a small settlement along the banks of the Euphrates. Over centuries, it grew into a city renowned for trade, art, learning, and governance. But its greatest legacy was not its walls or temples. It was the wisdom of its people. Arkad gathered Bansir, Kobi, and their friends in the courtyard. "To truly understand wealth," he said, "you must see how Babylon itself became prosperous. The city is a teacher. Its history is full of lessons for anyone who seeks fortune and security." Lesson 1. Planning leads to prosperity. Babylon's rulers understood the value of planning. They built massive walls to protect citizens, canals to irrigate crops, and marketplaces to encourage trade. Arkad explained, "Without foresight, a city falls." The same is true for a man's purse. Planning is the foundation of prosperity. Every wealthy man and every wealthy city begins with careful design and preparation. Lesson 2. Cooperation and trade. Babylon thrived because its people worked together. Merchants exchanged goods, artisans supplied materials, and farmers produced surplus crops. Arkad said, "Wealth grows when people cooperate. Trade multiplies resources. One man's coin is another man's opportunity. Learn to work with others, not against them. Prosperity comes from mutual benefit." Lesson 3. Discipline and law. The laws of Babylon ensured fairness and order, protecting citizens and their wealth. Arkad emphasized, "Discipline in governance reflects discipline in life. The same rules that govern a city, fairness, honesty, accountability, apply to personal finance. Without laws and principles, chaos destroys wealth." Lesson 4. Learning from the past. Babylon's scribes recorded knowledge on clay tablets, preserving centuries of experience. Arkad held one in his hands and smiled. "History teaches lessons wealth cannot buy. The mistakes and triumphs of ancestors guide us. By studying the past, we avoid ruin and build lasting prosperity." Bansir and Kobi realized that Arkad's teachings were not just personal. They were a reflection of centuries of collective wisdom. Lesson 5. Opportunity rewards the prepared. Babylon's success did not come by chance. It came from vision, courage, and preparation. Arkad concluded, "The same principle applies to men. Wealth does not come to idlers or dreamers. It comes to those who see opportunity, act decisively, and prepare wisely. The city's fortune mirrors the fortunes of its citizens who embrace these principles." Final reflection. Arkad looked at his friends and said, "The richest men in Babylon are not those who inherit gold. They are those who learn, apply, and respect the eternal laws of wealth. Every coin saved, every debt repaid, every skill improved, every risk wisely taken. These build not only personal prosperity, but a legacy that lasts beyond a lifetime." Bansir and Kobi left Arkad's house that evening transformed. They now understood that wealth was not magic or luck. It was a science, a series of disciplined actions built over time, inspired by history and protected by wisdom. Babylon stood as a testament to this principle. Wealth is created by knowledge, nurtured by discipline, and preserved by foresight.